This is the Sick'em Podcast, presented by your friend in the car business, Alan Samuels Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram Fiat in Waco. Online at alansamuelsdcj.com. The Sick'em Podcast is a production of Baylor Athletics. Now, here are your hosts, Brooke Bednarz and the voice of the Bears, John Morris.
Hi, everybody, and welcome into our Sick'em Podcast. We're glad you're with us this week, and we are pleased to be. It's John Morris alongside Brooke Bednarz, Brooke from Baylor Vision, and we are pleased to be joined this week by the president of Baylor University, President Linda Livingstone. Welcome to you. Glad to have you on our Sick'em Podcast.
Hey, I'm glad to be here, John. It's exciting, and Brooke, thank you for having us.
Great.
Absolutely.
And Shelby Livingstone is here with us as well, the daughter of you and Brad. Shelby, welcome to you.
Thank you so much. This is awesome. Good to be here.
Good. This is great. You're a natural. You put that headset on, you do a mic check, and you're just a natural, so you feel comfortable with this.
You guys make it look a lot easier than it is.
I don't know about that. Don't give any secrets away. But we're glad to have both of you here this week, and really part of our reason for having both of you is Mother's Day is coming up on Sunday, and we're looking forward to that. So to have both of you here together, Shelby, with Mother's Day coming up on Sunday. What's that like?
Oh, I don't want to give any secrets away from what we've already been planning for so long, but it'll be fun. Hopefully just a relaxing day, because with all the craziness going on, it's nice to just have a day to not do anything.
Good.
Well, and you've been planning a lot in the month of May. Your mom's birthday, President Livingstone's birthday, was on May 1st, and if I'm correct, I follow you on social media, Shelby. I think you blocked your mom for a while. Tell us a little bit about what that was and how that went down.
Yeah, so I decided that I was trying to figure out something fun to do for her birthday on May 1st. And with everyone gone from campus and kind of spread out across the country, I thought it would be cool to put together a video with the Baylor family and students and faculty. And so I was trying to figure out how to do that, and I put out a call on Twitter and Instagram, but then I realized that my mom follows me on those things, and so I ended up having to block her, and she kept asking me, like, why can't I see any of your tweets or your stories on Instagram? And I was like, oh, I don't know. Like, it must be some glitch with the system. And so it was so nice to have her birthday come and unblock her and not have to answer those questions anymore. But it was a special video.
It was really a cool video. It meant a lot, and I knew she would have put a lot of effort into it. When I thought she was studying for all those finals and papers she had to do, she was actually working on that video, apparently. What was it like when you finally did get unblocked and see that video? I mean, that had to be a very special thing, because you do such a great job of making sure the students know that you're still thinking of them, but to kind of have the role reversed and have them thinking of you on your birthday. And that your daughter is the one who helped put it all together. What was that like? Well, it was a really, really special. We put it up on the TV, the big screen TV, and watched it. And it was really very moving and emotional, because it was so sweet of everybody to take the time to do it. And people I knew, people I hadn't really met before necessarily, but really taking the time to give me a personal birthday wish. And so that was special. And then to know that Shelby went to all that trouble to do it. She's a good kid, and I think I'll keep her.
Thank you.
Well, there have been a lot of birthdays in the Livingstone household recently, Brad and Shelby, and then President Livingstone, yours, all within a 2-week span.
That's right. We just get them all over with. Just have a party for a couple of weeks. So.
That's fun. That's great. So as we look at where we are right now with obviously in unique time, unprecedented times here on campus, you live right here in the middle of campus. What's it like? It's not completely a ghost town, but there's not near as many students walking around as there normally are.
It's unbelievably quiet on campus, and we're so used to walking out of our house and seeing students walk in front of our house, behind our house, and just all over. And then when we walk on campus with our dog Boo, we're stopping and talking to students, and there's just not nearly as many students around. So we hope to have students back in the fall, plan to have students back in the fall, and so it'll be so nice to have that energy around. I will say there was one student that's living on campus now because he couldn't go home that was asked about it and was it lonely or anything. He goes, I view it more like campus is at rest for a while. And I like to think about it that way, but it's beautiful on campus now. We've had so much rain and it's quiet, but we miss all the students a lot and can't wait to have them back.
I am interested to know, what about Baylor, when you were seeking this position, what about Baylor made you feel as though, this is the campus that you wanted to live smack in the middle of and to be a part of?
Yeah. Well, I'd been here before our family had. Shelby was born in Waco, and we'd been away for quite a while, about 15 years before we came back. But, we just knew the heart and soul of the university. We knew what a fabulous place it was. We loved the Christian mission of the university. Still knew a lot of faculty and staff that worked here. And we're really thrilled to have the opportunity to come back, and knowing that Baylor had so much opportunity to move forward, to make a difference in the world, to raise up young people that have been educated in a Christian environment to go out and make a difference in the world. And, I think one of the things that has been really reinforced for me, certainly in the last couple of years, but even more so since we've been dealing with the pandemic, was we really are a unique and special place. We're a strong and resilient university. We have special people. I mean, our faculty and staff have gone above and beyond to transition, to get ready for the pandemic. Our students have been really resilient through all of this. And so it just reinforces why it was the right decision and why we're in the right place where God's called us to be, because Baylor's got great opportunities, and it's just a privilege to be here.
You were here before and then gone, as you said, for 15 years. During that time, did you ever think, maybe I'll get back to Baylor in some capacity at some point?
Well, even when I left to go to Pepperdine to be the dean of the business school, in part I did it because I thought, this is an opportunity to go away, learn some things, gain some new experiences. And, you never know. There might be an opportunity to come back to Baylor. I certainly would have never thought when I left that it would be to come back as president. So we loved Baylor when we were here. We actually never really thought we'd leave. And then when we did, always in the back of our mind, we thought there might be an opportunity to come back in some capacity. So it was really an honor and privilege to be able to do it as the president.
When you mentioned president, you just said you never thought it would be at that capacity. Where did that idea, what kind of made you think that's something I would want to do? That's the next step. And did you ever see yourself as president of the university before this?
When I became a dean, you begin to think about, well, I'm a dean. Is there something I want to do after that? And I was a dean for 12 years at Pepperdine and then 3 at George Washington University. And I think as I was getting towards the end of those 12 years at Pepperdine, I began to think, well, I've been here a long time. That's a long time to be in one place in that kind of a role. And are there really some other opportunities that I should begin to look at? And it's actually kind of unusual to move from being a business school dean to being a university president, although I have actually seen a number of my friends and colleagues do it more recently. And so there was also, well, maybe I need to be a provost if I want to be a president at some point in time. That was a more natural stepping stone in many ways. But I talked to people who were provost, and I talked to some friends that were deans that became provost, and I concluded I really didn't want to be a provost. So I'm really thankful for Provost Brickhouse. I would not want her job. I'm so appreciative of her. But I did begin to think that, being a president might be kind of interesting. And so I wasn't really out looking for a presidency. I hadn't applied for any jobs or anything. And the Baylor opportunity arose, of course, and certainly had a lot of people begin to reach out and suggest that it's something that I should consider. So, I think God opens up doors in the right way to prepare you at the right moment for what's ahead of you. And so, it was the right opportunity at the right time to move on and do this.
Shelby, what do you think about your mom being a president of a university? I mean, you're an only child, but it's almost as if you have thousands and thousands of siblings now that you share your parents with.
Yeah, it's really cool. It's been cool to see all the different opportunities that she's had in her career through Pepperdine and George Washington, and even before that, and just see how different obstacles and challenges through those positions have really just prepared her for kind of this pinnacle of academia, a job in academia. And so it's always cool to see your parents succeed, and it's even more special for it to be at a place like Baylor, just because it does feel like it's family here, and like we belong here. So it's really cool. It's fun to be able to kind of cheer her on and just see all the success come in stride.
Shelby, we'll visit with you a little bit later about your role with Baylor volleyball. That's fun. You played volleyball during your undergrad days at Rice, had a great career there, and now here in grad school at Baylor. President Livingstone, just want to make sure everybody in your family is doing well, health-wise. Everybody doing well?
They are. Brad's doing great. He's teaching his classes at Vanguard High School online. Shelby's surviving the last few days of her second semester of Truett Seminary grad school. My mom turned 90 this spring on April 18th, and she's just so healthy and doing well. And unfortunately, we haven't been able to have her with us because we're keeping her at her home in Oklahoma safe and sound. But so I couldn't be happier. Having a mom of that age and being healthy through all of this is a blessing for sure.
Speaking about that, and your mom with Mother's Day coming up on Sunday, will you get to see her, or what will be your routine with her on Sunday?
We will not get to see her. We have tried to stay away and make sure she's safe and healthy. Because her birthday was so recently, we actually did something kind of fun for my mom for her 90th birthday, so I'm hoping it carries over a little bit to Mother's Day. We actually made a list of the 90 reasons we love my mom.
Wow.
And then Brad is like a serious picture person, and so he found, dozens of pictures that he embedded in the 90 reasons we love my mom. And so we sent it to her on her birthday, and it was really kind of special and personal. And frankly, it's not something we would have done at all if we had actually physically been able to go see her. So we'll probably call and stay in touch with her and make sure she's doing okay and do a little, FaceTime with her or something.
I was about to say, does she FaceTime?
She does. She's pretty good. She's on Twitter and Facebook.
She has the nicest phone in the family.
Really?
Yeah, so.
At age 90.
Yes.
She deserves it at that point.
She does.
Yes.
Here for you, your family, and our community. Allen Samuels is open for business. Shop safely in our showroom. Our service and parts departments are open. There's free pickup and delivery for all service work. All safely sanitized when returned. We'll even deliver test drive vehicles to your home or office. Shop and buy totally online at AllenSamuelsDCJ.com. We're ready to help. Always your friend in the car business. Allen Samuels Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram Fiat.
Bentwood Realty is a full-service real estate firm with more than 70 high-achieving agents who desire to make a positive impact in their local communities. Their agents stay actively involved in all buying, selling, and investing real estate transactions to make sure their clients receive the utmost level of service. Established in 2011 by brokers Kim Galvan and Rick Hines, both proud Baylor alumni. Call Bentwood Realty today, 254-300-4800. They're at 601 Lake Air Drive in Waco and BentwoodRealty.com.
Now, back to the Sikkim Podcast, presented by your friend in the car business, Allen Samuels, Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram Fiat.
Well, before that, you mentioned, you've seen your mom go through various different challenges and things of that nature throughout your entire career. In your first job as president of a university, here you are facing a crisis that no one saw coming. What has that been like for you, and how in your time as president have you seen your kind of jobs change?
Well, this has to be the most dramatic change in as short a period of time as I can ever imagine you going through in a leadership role like this. And we were talking with my president's council the other day. It's like trying to even remember what we spent our time on before we went into this, because now almost 100% of your time is sort of engulfed in trying to manage through the immediate issues as well as planning for the future. But, I have to say, I just feel really blessed. I have a wonderful leadership team. Of course, Mac Rhodes is a member of that team, our director of athletics and vice president, as well as my other team members. And then we've got a great board that's been wonderful to work with. And so as significant as it's been, as many hard decisions as we've had to make with great uncertainty and in such a short period of time, I just feel like we've had a great team doing it. We've done, I think, really well given the circumstances, and I can't thank my team enough and really our board for working with us and being supportive through this. Of course, it's kind of a marathon ahead, so we've got a lot more to do in the coming months, but great people working on it and people who love Baylor and care about our students and are really being thoughtful about the choices and decisions we make.
You mentioned Mac, and we come at this sort of from an athletics perspective. There are some challenges out there. There's opportunities out there. Certainly missed opportunities with the spring sports all being canceled, and that hit all of us hard. You and Brad were at a lot of events, a lot of Baylor games and things, and all of a sudden they were taken away. What was that like?
Well, it was heartbreaking. I mean, we were in Kansas City at the Big 12 tournament. We actually went to the first night of the men's tournament games because Oklahoma State was playing. So we actually got to watch our Oklahoma State Cowboys win. So that was the last game of the year that we saw. And we were just heartbroken. Of course, I'm on the Big 12 board, and so we obviously made the decision first to do the tournament without fans and then to cancel it altogether. And really unbelievably difficult decisions because you know how difficult that is for the student athletes, particularly our men's and women's basketball teams that were going to be top seeds in the tournament and have as much opportunity as anybody to get to the Final Four and potentially win a national championship. And so it just breaks your heart for the students, student athletes. And then, of course, our spring sports that didn't even get that deep into their season. It's hard because you see the personal impact it has. And then across our campuses, we had to send students home just to see our seniors not be able to finish their semester on campus and not be able to walk graduation in May. That's the hardest part of it really, is watching the kind of personal impact it has on our students and our student athletes that had so much to look forward to, and it completely changed the conclusion of those seasons and that senior year for some.
The option for seniors to come back, granted by the NCAA another senior year, basically, that's great, and Baylor made that happen. I mean, that wasn't the case at every school around the country. Yeah,
we were given the choice of whether to do it, but we really felt like it was something that we should do for those seniors, given how early in the season they ended, and we've got some great young people coming back that are going to be fabulous contributors next year. So we will look forward to them sort of having hopefully a more normal senior season next year.
The Livingstone family is the number one fan, I would say. I mean, I've seen you at every sporting event possible. So how has it been for you guys to all of a sudden have, I wouldn't say free time, but you're not at all these games. But I've seen some TikToks and some social media videos. Things are staying competitive at this household.
Absolutely. We are a very competitive family. And so being together, we've found ways to keep that going through ping pong, and we played some pool volleyball the other day. I'm not sure anyone should see that video.
Yeah, it might be a little much for people to watch.
And then, just trying to stay busy, and made some TikToks.
Shelby introduced us to TikTok and decided that we needed to do one. So we did that. That was fun. I'm not sure I have a career in TikTok video or postings, but it's been fun. And we've actually gotten to spend a lot more time together as family, as most families have through all of this. Fortunately, we really like spending time together. We have a lot of fun together. And doing those videos has been great because it is a way to engage the Baylor family and keep people connected to campus. And certainly we've tried many ways through social media and other means to do that, even though they can't be physically here. How do we help them feel close to the campus while they're away?
This really was a great year going in Baylor athletics. I mean, think back to the fall, and football had such a great season, played the Big 12 championship game, finished in the Sugar Bowl. Baylor volleyball, Shelby, Big 12 champs, and all the way to the Final Four for the first time. Soccer, cross country, the other sports in the fall. And then, President Livingstone, you mentioned basketball. Men's and women's were most likely going to be number one seeds in the NCAA tournament. I mean, this was a great year in progress athletically at Baylor.
Yeah, I can't imagine. I know we've had some other great years overall, but I can't imagine if we'd made it all the way through. I think almost every spring sport, if not all of them, would have qualified for the NCAA playoffs at the end, and probably would have been the most successful year ever broadly across Baylor sports. And that's just really commending to our coaches, our student athletes, the leadership of our athletics program, that we've really built such success broadly across the institution in men's and women's sports, and give a lot of credit to our coaches, and frankly doing it while being committed to our Christian mission, to being committed to the holistic development of our students, and really committing to our kind of champions for life philosophy. So I can't say enough about the quality of our coaches and certainly the leadership of Mac Rhodes in all of that.
And I know you appreciate the success of our student athletes in the classroom also.
Absolutely.
I mean, they really are student athletes. And we've had a great year in that area also.
They've done unbelievably well. We continue to kind of lead the conference in kind of the student athlete success rate, and seeing them perform, we focus on sort of their best, doing the best that they can do, and really see the student athletes stepping up and being great examples for their teammates, especially for the freshmen as they come in, to know that that's important, and having great role models in the older student athletes.
Baylor Athletics has the 4 pillars: athletic success, academic success, athletic performance. But then we also have character formation and spiritual growth. Just looking at your family as a whole, very involved in FCA. Your husband traveled toward Europe, correct?
In Europe, yes.
Athletes
Eastern
in
Europe.
Action. So to see you guys get to be a part of a university where that is such a strong point for the athletic department, what does that mean to you, and how has that been for you guys to get to kind of continue what has been so important for you here at Baylor?
Well, I think it's one of the really special things about our university broadly, but certainly in the athletics program, is that we do care deeply about the spiritual growth and development of our student athletes. And we obviously have the sports chaplaincy program in the athletic department that really provides that kind of ministry to all of our student athletes. And I just think it's really one of the unique things about being here, and gives our student athletes a level of support and guidance that they don't always get at other institutions. Of course, that's really special to Shelby because she's at Truett Seminary. So,
yes. Yeah, I'm doing a concentration in sport ministry at Truett, and so it's just such a unique program. I think it's the only one in the country, and to be able to work alongside elite student athletes who also have that mission, and coaches who truly care. I mean, I work with the volleyball team, so I'll speak of my experience with them, but these girls are great athletes, but even more than that, they love the Lord, and I think that is where a lot of the success of the team comes from, is that they love each other on such a deeper level than just the volleyball court, and it truly translates into everything that they do. So it's just really special to see them all grow athletically, academically, but spiritually. It just blows my mind that these women I get to work with them every single day. It just is such a joy.
With that mix of the sports and the ministry, where do you see yourself in the future? Are you a one-day president of a university or focusing more on the athletic side?
I think I might leave the presidential activities to my mom, but right now my heart is really with student athletes, and I was a member of FCA whenever I was at Rice, and just the mentors I had there were extremely influential and life-changing, and so I'm looking into sports chaplaincy right now, and just to be able to be someone that, like I had when I was in college, for some athletes would just be amazing.
You're part of the volleyball program here, we mentioned, and Coach McGuire, you've talked about him and how he just sows into the lives of, everyone on that team, and you're a part of that now. What's that like to be around him and that atmosphere with Baylor volleyball?
Coach McGuire is so wise, and he's so wise on the volleyball court, and he knows his Bible, and that just is so clear in everything that he does, and it just emanates through everything and every life that he touches. And so he definitely has created a very special environment on the team where we're just able to be open with each other, and it just is very freeing for the girls we encourage them to just play free, and that leads to a lot of success, and you're not afraid that you're going to make a mistake and everyone's going to be mad at you. It's just very freeing and very special. So it definitely comes from Coach McGuire, and the girls are just thrive off of the leadership that he brings to the program.
All that plus a great season on the court, number one in the nation, went to the Final Four, as we mentioned, for the first time ever. This was a fun season, wasn't it, to be a part of?
It was a great season to start with the volleyball team. Yeah. I think it was just a good time to hook my wagon to them, but it was so much fun. It's experiences in the volleyball world that I never thought that I would be able to have going to the Final Four, and so it was just amazing, and just to have that special group of people together just made it that much more exciting.
Relationships, community, home. Now more than ever, these are the things that we're holding fast to. Home should restore us from today and ready us for tomorrow. It's where stories are told and relationships are forged. Within those walls, memories are made, laughter is shared, and family is gathered around the table. For these reasons, we believe in home, and that right now there is no better place to be. If you and your family are looking to buy or sell a home, head over to magnoliarealty.com. Magnolia is a proud sponsor of Baylor Athletics.
If you need a trailer, Flat Rock Trailers has got you covered. From light-duty single-axle utility trailers to the Big Tex tandem duals. We also carry a full line of enclosed cargo trailers. Need a motorcycle trailer? We've got them. Need a dump trailer? We've got the largest selection in the state. Oil field trailers? We carry a full line of Big Tex trailers to handle all your needs. Trailer repairs? We repair all makes and models. We'll even rent you a trailer if you need to use one for a day. Flat Rock Trailers, your #1 source for all your trailer needs. Find us at flatrocktrailers.com.
You and your husband, President Livingstone, basketball athletes at Oklahoma State. We talked about a lot of success that the basketball teams here have had and all of our other Baylor sports, but you alone had a pretty special event happen earlier in the spring before everything was shut down, being inducted into the Hall of Fame. What was that like to get to kind of stop? You put on a little bit of orange.
I did.
We'll allow it for this. But just reflect on that night and what that meant for you.
Well, it was just, I was so honored when I got the call from Burns Hargis, president at Oklahoma State University, indicating that I had been selected to be inducted into the Oklahoma State Hall of Fame. And really honored by that. I loved my experience at Oklahoma State. It's wonderful to get to be partners with them in the conference now and to work with Burns, who I think highly of, and he's done a wonderful job there. But to be a part of that, and you look at the people that have been inducted into their Hall of Fame, and it's very humbling for that, to see the other folks that you're in there with, but really appreciate they've been so supportive of me in when I got into this position. I've just gotten so many wonderful, warm, kind notes from the folks at OSU, and they're actually very nice to us when we go up there and play sports. I mean, they really are very, very kind and welcoming to us, and I think that's been very good. They love to have us come up, and we do tell them we'll not really ever wear our orange and black when we're there, except when I was inducted into the Hall of Fame when I felt obligated to.
It's okay.
But they've been supportive and wonderful and encouraging to us. And I think that they're pretty good Baylor fans now at OSU, except when they play us. And so we always tell them we cheer for OSU all the time unless they're playing Baylor. And I think they're pretty good about cheering for us, except when we're playing OSU. So I think that's all good for all of us.
I'm curious, as a former student athlete, at a Division I level at Oklahoma State, and now the president of a school, at the Division I level, how did your experience as a student athlete maybe, or how does that factor in? Has it shaped your thoughts regarding athletics now?
I think having been a student athlete gives you a really good perspective, especially when you're at an institution that's in one of the Power 5 conferences where athletics is very important. It certainly doesn't overshadow what we're doing academically or in other areas, but it's an important part of the experience on our campus. And so I think having been a student athlete at that level, of course, having a husband that was, and then having a daughter that played Division I athletics, it really does give you a perspective and an understanding of what that experience is like, why it matters, and also why it's important that you do it right and that you do it in a way that's true to the rules, but is really developing young people and in all the ways that we've talked about before with regard to their character and their spiritual development. So I think it does give me an appreciation for what it takes to do well in that environment, but also the value that athletics brings to the university more broadly in terms of just generating enthusiasm, excitement, giving places to bring people together, and then really being a window into the university for people who might never think about Baylor if they hadn't seen our football team play or our basketball team or our volleyball team or something. So I loved my time as a student athlete and know it shaped me a lot in ways that have helped me with what I do now.
Baylor's strategic plan, Illuminate, athletics has a real role in that. How would you define that?
Well, we talk about 4 pillars in Illuminate that are critical to us, and certainly it's continuing to strengthen our Christian mission. It's emphasizing the transformational undergraduate experience, growing our research impact and breadth, but also ensuring that our activities, our student performance activities, are of the highest caliber, and that includes the arts as well as athletics. And so for us, ensuring that those things our students do where they're representing the university away from our campus and competing with other institutions, and certainly athletics is a very high-profile part of that. That's an important part of representing who we are, and we believe we should be good stewards of the gifts that God has given us. And if we have talented young people athletically and music and theater, we want them out representing us well and doing everything we can to support them to use those gifts to their best ability. And we've certainly done that well, I think, in athletics here.
Is there any silver lining to the situation that we're currently in? You going back a little bit, you talked about how you guys gave your mother that gift, and that maybe you wouldn't have done that. Have you seen something like that more in the workplace, whether it's on the academic side or the athletic side?
I think one of the things when we are no longer with people face-to-face, I think it makes us appreciate our face-to-face time a lot more. So I do think when we get people back on campus, we won't take for granted the opportunities that we have to be together in community with one another. And I think we can easily take that for granted sometimes. I also think that it has forced us to spend time with people in ways we wouldn't have otherwise. When you think about the coaches and all the time they're spending with our student athletes, either one-on-one or with their teams, where they can't physically practice with them, so they're finding other ways to connect and engage. And I have no doubt that some of those relationships, and especially when you think about our football coaches that are brand new and really hadn't spent much time together with the team, I think that one-on-one time, that small group time that they're spending really talking a lot more and engaging a lot more will be really valuable over the long run. And I have absolutely seen examples of our faculty and our coaches helping meet the needs of some of our students and student athletes in ways that we probably wouldn't have otherwise, or things we might not even known that they needed assistance with. So I've been so moved by the way the Baylor family has stepped up to support each other and help one another to get through a really difficult time that none of us anticipated.
Relationships, community, home. Now more than ever, these are the things that we're holding fast to. Home should restore us from today and ready us for tomorrow. It's where stories are told and relationships are forged. Within those walls, memories are made, laughter is shared, and family is gathered around the table. For these reasons, we believe in home, and that right now, there is no better place to be. If you and your family are looking to buy or sell a home, head over to magnoliarealty.com. Magnolia is a proud sponsor of Baylor Athletics.
I hate my job, but I don't mind getting up in the morning. I dread each day, but I can't wait to get out of bed. You ask me why, and what I'll say to you is true. Well, you can get breakfast tacos at Rudy's Barbecue. Scrambled eggs and brisket, they ain't fooling around. Salsa drap, son, they're the best in town. Barbecue for breakfast, yes, it's true. Put a smile on your morning at Rudy's Barbecue. Next in line.
You're listening to the Sick'em Podcast, a production of Baylor Athletics. Here again are Brooke Bednarz and John Morris.
Visiting with Baylor President Linda Livingstone, the first daughter, Shelby Livingstone. Has anybody used that term with you?
A little bit, yeah. I think
fits.
it's catching on. I'm not
sure.
sure.
Brad is the first gent,
That's right.
which I think is great. Brad is not with us, but President Livingstone and Shelby are. President Livingstone, if you can look into your crystal ball and look to the fall, what does it look like with what we know right now? What does the fall look like on the Baylor campus?
Right now, we're planning to have our students back on campus. What that looks like when they're back on campus will probably be different than how it would normally look. We're working on how much social distancing we might have to do, how we might have to structure classrooms to accommodate and ensure safety and health, what life in residence halls or in cafeterias might look like. And then, certainly we are optimistic about our fall sports being able to play, how that will look and what safety precautions we have to put around it, both for our student athletes and coaches as well as for fans, if we're able to have fans in the stands. We want to have those sports activities. We want to have our students back on campus, and we're doing everything we can to plan for that to ensure we have a safe and healthy opportunity for everybody back in the fall. So nothing we want more than to have everybody back on campus.
How would you say Baylor right now. Everyone's kind of in the spot where they're planning for the best, or hoping for the best and planning for it, but at the same time kind of having to have a backup plan just in case. How has it been like that, having to kind of sort through what this may be and what that may be, and how fluid everything is right now?
Yeah. Well, it means it's very complicated because you're planning for several different scenarios that could possibly happen. And, we have the one we are putting the most effort into, which is the anticipation of being back on campus. And even though it's going to look different, but what does that need to look like? But recognizing that it could be better than that, and we might be able to ease up on some of the protections, but also recognizing it could be more challenging if the virus, if things get worse between now and then. And so, it puts a lot of stress on everybody that's doing all that planning. But I, again, have to say our faculty, staff, coaches have just really stepped up and been willing to do whatever it takes to create the best environment we can for our students and our student athletes, given the circumstances. And so I know they're going to do that again for the fall, whatever it might look like. But certainly the plan is and the intent is to be back on campus with everybody, and everybody's rolling up their sleeves and doing what we have to do to try to make sure that happens in the safest way possible.
Well, I know that we're thankful to have you on the Sikkim podcast, and I believe you're also going to be featured on the Baylor University's podcast here soon. But just kind of give you an outlet real quick, if you had to, give a message of hope to all the students who are going to be listening to this, whether they're student athletes or not, just coming from you, being here on campus, you still are walking around with your dog and here with Shelby, even though they're not. And so to kind of give them a look at what Baylor is right now.
Well, I would say that, we love our students, regardless of where you are. We love you. You are a part of that Baylor line that's gone on for 175 years, and you will continue to be a part of that long after you're away from our campus as a student. So I just encourage you to, stay true to what you're learning at Baylor, to your values, and know that you're always a part of the Baylor family, and that whether you can come back this summer or next year or 5 years from now, you're always welcome to come back to campus and be a part of what we're doing.
And can we ask you what you're most looking forward to with Baylor athletics? We think about football being such an economic engine for the athletic department. As we record this, 4 months from today is our scheduled season opener, September 5th. What are you most looking forward to in getting athletics going again?
I just would love to have the opportunity to watch our student athletes compete again. They're such amazing athletes, such fine young people, and for them to have the opportunity to get out there and participate on behalf of the university, to use their giftedness in that way and to represent the university, that's the best part of it, is to watch those student athletes and see them sort of exhibit the joy that they experience from participating and playing.
Wow.
What about you, Shelby?
I love the volleyball girls more than anything. And so being on Zoom calls with them every week is just not the same as seeing them in person every day and living life alongside of them. So I'm just so excited for that day to come when we all get to be reunited and just have a hard practice again in the Farrell Center.
Hopefully it's coming soon.
Hopefully.
That'll be great. That's exciting to think about. We are very nice to welcome us into your home and give us some time this evening. We really do appreciate it. Thanks very much. President Livingstone, happy Mother's Day to you.
Thank you
up
so
on
much.
Sunday.
Appreciate
and Shelby, great to have you as a part of this with Mother's Day right around the corner. God bless you all as you continue to do the work that we have here at Baylor University, and thanks for being with us.
It's our pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
All right. Thanks for being with us. That's this week's Sikkim podcast, a production of Baylor Athletics. For Brooke Bednarz, for President Linda Livingstone, for Shelby Livingstone, I'm John Morris. Thanks for being with us.
You've been listening to the Sikkim podcast, presented by your friend in the car business, Alan Samuels Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram Fiat in Waco. Online at alansamuelsdcj.com. The Sikkim podcast has been a production of Baylor Athletics.